down 68 points. NASDAQ futures up 7. More details at srnnews.com.
What are you going to do if Kamala wins? Moving to gold now is an option. At Premier Gold, we specialize in helping those with a 401k or other types of retirement accounts convert their vulnerable paper assets into physical gold. Today, we'd like to send you a free gold election kit to help you decide if this is right for you. Call 606-800-8000. Premier Gold is not a financial advisor. Please consult with your advisor before investing. Call 606-800-8000.
Mount Katahdin, 100,000 acres of wilderness.
We're gonna hike there?
You're almost men now.
From Sylvester Stallone and Blue Fox Entertainment comes the film Lost on a Mountain in Maine.
God, slow down.
You want us to be men? We're going to the top.
Where's Dawn?
Where's your brother?
A family searches for their son lost in the wilderness.
I always told them, when things get tough, press on.
The true inspirational story, Lost on a Mountain in Maine, in theaters this Friday. Tickets at lostonamountainинmainemovie.com.
Rocket 102.5.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. A freeze warning begins at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning and continues until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Slight chance of rain showers today. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 45. Winds out of the north, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 29 tonight. Cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 61 tomorrow. Bright sunshine expected. Temperatures above average Friday and Saturday with highs in the upper 60s. Slight chance for showers Saturday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 71 Sunday, 60 Monday, and 51 on Tuesday. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Right now, 45.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before October 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is October 30th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE, 866-89-BIBLE.
At FNB Bank, we know family comes first. Whether you're opening a savings account for your kids, buying a new home, or planning for the future, we're here to help every step of the way. With personalized service and flexible options, we make banking easy for your growing family. FNB Bank, serving families, strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention Northwest Kansas high school students. Colby Community College is offering the Colby Commitment Scholarship, a no-cost tuition, fees, and books award for Northwest Kansas high school students on free and reduced lunches and all juniors and seniors at Thomas County high schools. Don't qualify? Classes are just $50 a credit hour for tuition, fees, and books. No games, no gimmicks. It's quality education at an affordable price. Ask your guidance counselor about the Colby Commitment Scholarship or visit colbycc.edu/commitment.
The one hail of a sale continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get huge savings on not just lightly hailed on vehicles, but also ones that don't have hail or have had the hail fixed. How about a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 SLE with hail up to $13,000 off when trading in an eligible vehicle, now only $49,000. A 24 Chevy Tahoe RST with hail up to $14,000 off, now just $58K. It's one hail of a sale, and it continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
Rip for now, and it needs replaced. Who you gonna call?
Roof Masters!
Roof Masters Roofing at Colby has been your premier roofing contractor for over 40 years, offering free estimates on all types of roofs, as well as seamless rain gutters and vinyl siding. So give us a call today. What's that number, Jake?
462
vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Even though your attention has turned back to school with events and activities, you just can't forget everything going on at home. That's where your local Hoover Lumber Ace hardware stores in Goodland and Colby come in. Keep the lawn in check with mowers, blowers, and trimmers, Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. They are still your local Benjamin Moore paint retailer, and they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills and griddles from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. Plus, their helpful and knowledgeable staffs are some of the best in the Northwest. It's all at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Get ready for the most electrifying football action of the season right here on Rocket 1025. Cheer on your Denver Broncos with every thrilling play, every game-winning drive, and every heart-pounding moment. Don't miss a second of action. Tune in all season long to Rocket 1025. Broncos football powered by FMB Bank, Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Colby Ag Center, Tubbs & Sons Ford Sales, Hoxie Feed Yard, Imperial Beef, Next Tech Wireless, Burlington Ford, Zimmelman's Jewelry, and Vince's GM.
You ready? Watch out,
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
The region's only local sports talk.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 1025, simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
It's been a long time. But the Goodland Cowboys are going to play for a state title.
To the pros.
How about a walk-off grand slam? Touch of all time, Ryan McMahon.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work. Badunga lassos the rebound. Coit again from three. That one goes. Anna on the drive. Badunga with the spike. Man. Adams to the corner. Store. Three ball. Good.
Freeman cracks one deep to right field. And gone again! Freddie Freeman floating in the World Series. 4 games, 4 home runs. You gotta be kidding.
Hawkins from the top. He hits 13 for Coleman Hawkins.
To Glaber. A fly ball to deep right. That's going back. That ball is gone. It's Glaber Day. He hits a 3-run home run to blow this game apart. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
The Yankees win.
Like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
What a legend.
Oh my God.
What a legend.
It's amazing. It's good they pulled him out of retirement to have him come do the playoffs because he wasn't doing the regular season, I don't think.
I think he retired after the first couple months of the regular. He started the season and then he retired. And yeah, he's back for the playoffs.
You know what my favorite of his calls is when the ball came back and hit him in the face.
Oh, that was a great one. Last year.
Ball, it's coming back. Oh, it's come back to me. Oh, ow.
Yeah, he said, ow.
Ow. It hit me in the face. Ow.
He's one of the ones. He is one of the ones.
Oh.
Legendary broadcaster.
Glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz on a Wednesday. It's a hump day. It's the final Wednesday of October. It's October 30th. One day before Halloween. Max, you got your costume all picked up, pressed, and ready to go for tomorrow?
No.
I see you've got a new Colby sweatshirt on though today. Is that it? Is that I see it's a Colby Eagle one. Yeah, I guess I see that. It's nice, sharp.
Yeah,
Adidas branded as well. Man, look at this guy. This guy, he's big time now.
Branded up, yeah,
big time.
Absolutely.
He had to go buy something because his warm clothes still are not all the way in yet.
No, but I needed something Colby, and no one wants to, get me a radio branded, collared shirt or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I would agree on that. That'd be really nice. I would like to see a few of those things, but
someone ordered something for me, but no. So
Yeah.
I went and bought an Eagles shirt on my own. So
there you go. Yeah. Hint, hint. Yes, that would be a good idea. Anyway, going to be a cold day today. That's why Max does have the hoodie on. Expected to be just a high of 40 today. We will see wind again as we did yesterday. High today, of 50 with currently sitting at 40 degrees and windy at this point in time. It'll be a cooler day today for sure. So you want to make sure you it's probably one of those days you want to wear pants, and long pants and probably a long sleeve shirt, probably one of those type of days, and some wind there as well. Jared chiming in on the text line, naming people on the staff who have failed us. Yes, they have failed us. There's no doubt about it.
True.
When it comes to that kind of stuff. Today's show, we will be visiting with Connie Livengood, head coach of the Goodland Cowgirl golf team, fresh off a third-place finish at the state golf tournament just last week. So we'll be visiting with her. We will also be getting into some other news surrounding of course, I lost my spot here, but we'll also be getting around some other news surrounding the NFL and some quarterback news. K-State and KU basketball rolling in their exhibitions. We'll get to that coming up in our final segment as well. So plenty to get to in today's show. We will get to the College Football Power 5 Week 10 edition coming up here in just a matter of moments. But just thoughts on World Series Game 4. I have a thought on this game, but I want to get Max's thoughts first on World Series Game 4. Yankees win, by the way, 11-4. And fend off at least, a sweep of the World Series by the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, first off, I just want to say I've predicted every single game correctly so far, Ross, in this World Series.
Good for you.
Forget about the weekend picks. Let's talk World Series baseball, and I'm perfect so far. And going off of that streak, I think the Dodgers close it out tonight. So just keep that in mind. But last night I think the Yankees were at a spot where they were desperate, obviously, and it was just their offense finally got going. Austin Wells hit a home run. Gleyber Torres. I think Gleyber Torres has been the reason that this team is as far as they are in the postseason. Him and Soto have just been playing unbelievable, and Soto is expected to be playing this way, but Gleyber has really, really, if Judge was able to hit the baseball in the playoffs with the way Gleyber and Soto are playing in front of him, I mean, I don't even know if they lose a game in this postseason run because of how good those two have been playing. But unfortunately, Judge continues to struggle. That being said, Ross, did you see the fan interference on Mookie Betts?
Saw the fan interference. Yep. There's already been people chiming in. Jared, our loyal listener, chiming in. Fans need to be served criminal charges for assault, all kinds of stuff. It's not good.
Unbelievable. And I feel the vibe I got from Twitter and the people or talking about the game on different social medias is it's just the Bronx guy. He's tough and he's trying to, it's no, the guy's I'm gonna keep it clean.
Yeah, keep it clean.
The guy's dumb. The guy's a dumb person that needs to be taken care of. It's really it's actually funny. My friend who's from Jersey, who I went to college with, he sent a picture in our group chat after some of his buddies were out by a bar next to the stadium, and they took a selfie with the guy after he got kicked out from actually assaulting Mookie Betts. But didn't matter. Mookie with a great play through all the contact, pass interference, you could say. But yeah, that was
for those who didn't see, Mookie Betts, left fielder, went into the crowd to make a play, and he did. But the fans were trying to rip the ball away from him after he made the catch, trying to kind of make it so that it would be a foul ball and get a chance at all that. So,
shopping is on the other guy. I mean, it was a mess. It was
it's not good.
It's different when you go for the ball. They went for the glove. The guy opened the glove like a book and inserted his own hand into the glove to try to take the ball out.
Yeah. So it's what you expect from New Yorkers. It's what you would expect a little bit from them.
I guess.
But anyway, especially in a very competitive environment, we'll just say that. And the Yankees desperately needed to win to avoid a sweep. I'll tell you my biggest thing that stood out to me about that game. And I kind of and it's not just that game in particular, but it's games like that. The thing that stands out to me is that I get this feeling in the pit of my stomach, once I know Freddie Freeman hit that home run, and that was great, and he was awesome last night. He was amazing again with another home run, and that's an MLB record. But after they got that lead, and after the Yankees got the grand slam from Volpe, and kind of pulled away a little bit, it kind of felt like as if the Dodgers were like, you know what? It's not our night tonight. That's okay. We're just gonna kind of just we'll just coast here through the rest of these few innings, and we're up 3-0 already. We'll be just fine. I get that feeling, and that's why I think postseasons with series, whether it's NBA or Major League Baseball, postseasons like that, I feel like that are really long series, 7 games. I feel sometimes like as if as a sports fan, we're kind of cheated a little bit, because I could see how you're just like, you know what? We're up 3-0. It's not our night. We didn't even throw our best pitcher. We went out there and went Johnny Holstaff, and that's what we did. And you know what? It wasn't our night. So we're just going to pick it up again tomorrow. Good try tonight, boys. And it makes me feel icky, a little icky about that kind of stuff, especially when you have a series when a team is really 3 games, like they're 1 game away from winning it all. When you're up 3-0, it's these type of scenarios that happen, because the game that's up 3-0, like, you know what? Hey, you know what? We're up really good. We don't need to play that great. We'd rather win in front of our home fans. Not saying this is what happened with the Dodgers, by the way, but we'd rather win in front of our home fans. So let's just take it easy tonight. We'll go back home. We'll win in front of our home fans. I kind of get those feelings sometimes. And last night, I kind of got that feeling about LA.
Yeah, I think that's 100% a fair point. There's strategy to it. Obviously, you don't want to waste arms. Don't want to give them different looks when you're down. The probabilities of you not coming back in that game. Whatever. But I definitely can see that, Ross. I think that's an understandable feeling. I think that isn't what the players are thinking, and I'm sure that's not what you were saying, but I think the coaches definitely have that in the back of their mind. Like, all right, we're not going to come back from this. Let's save this arm. Let's save this arm. That's definitely the case in a lot of baseball games in the playoffs when you're down 3-0. But I think also my feeling when those games happen is like, it's hard. Baseball is very, people don't like to say this as much as baseball as they do in NBA, NFL, college football, college basketball, but it can be carried by momentum heavily. And you score 11 runs and you're getting your confidence back. And a lot of the times it can feel hard to get a win again after you've lost 1 even. So it's hard to mentally prepare after a loss in the playoffs, regardless of what the series is. So, anything's possible, and it's a lot easier to come back from a 3-0 deficit in baseball than it is in basketball. So we'll see what happens.
You're a youngin'. Do you like the Johnny Holstaff approach sometimes in Major League Baseball in the World Series? Like, I get if it's Johnny Holstaff to me is when you're like, we're not really going to throw a starting pitcher out there that would be a typical starter. We're going to throw out a bunch of bullpen guys and throw maybe an inning or so. I mean, my Diamondbacks did it last year in the World Series. But are you as a youngin', are you a fan of that kind of play? Because that's not, the baseball I grew up with. I grew up with guys working, through 7 innings. Then you went to 2 guys in the bullpen. That was what I grew up watching. And prior to that, you watch guys throw complete 9-inning games. Bob Gibson and all the great legends of the game. So I'm curious, where do you stand on that? Because last night, once again, you're in the World Series. You're the LA Dodgers. You're spending just as much money as anybody in all of baseball. You're telling me you don't have another starting pitcher you can throw out there that's actually worth a hoot?
So you're saying like a bullpen game?
Yeah. Johnny Holstaff is a bullpen game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I do like the opener idea that a lot of coaches have been implementing over the last, in last few years. I think that is definitely effective because you can set up your starter with someone that has a different pitch mix. As far as a bullpen game entirely, in this situation, I don't mind it. In the regular season, it's kind of like it does bother me because I don't see the benefit as much. When you're up 3-0, you want to get different. I think if Dave Roberts is like, I want the Yankees hitters to get different looks from these guys they haven't seen yet, fine with it. But if it's just this, like, we're up 3-0, let's save an arm for tomorrow, it's like, I get it. But I get what you're saying. It does feel like it's kind of robbing the fans. But I don't think Dave Roberts cares.
See, I just remember, like it was I go back to Pedro was on the mound. After him, it was Schilling. And then, and it was not saying that you have to have great, humongous, massive Hall of Fame names roll out all the time, but you had a starting pitcher because you have 5-6 guys. Why in the world do you not have a starting pitcher in that scenario?
And the thing that does bother me about kind of the change of the time and the generations from what you're talking about to from what is happening now is like you're seeing Garrett Cole getting pulled. He's dominating in game 1 with 88 pitches. Boone pulls him for a matchup. I don't like that. That's not the way that baseball should be. This guy's dominating, doesn't in his mind, in Garrett Cole's mind, I guarantee there's no one that can come up that he doesn't feel like he can dominate at that spot. And the guy in the bullpen it doesn't feel the same way because he hasn't been pitching all game. Q did it with Cole Reagans, and he did it with he's done it a couple times in the postseason. I don't like that approach from managers. I think if a guy is dominating on the mound, it doesn't matter if he has 110 pitches. If he's dominating and he hasn't shown signs of him slowing down and his arm feels fine, keep him in there.
Yeah. Anyway, fascinating. Game number 5 is tonight in the World Series. Once again from the Bronx. We'll see if any of that momentum that the Yankees picked up last night will push forward and help them pick up another win. That would be interesting. Interesting to see if they got a second win, because then I'm starting to think like, see, you shouldn't have taken your foot off the gas there, LA. You should have kept trying. Should have kept trying. Like I said, on the text line, by the way, lighting up this morning, but another text coming in from listener Jared. He goes, Ross felt the same exact way. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. Yeah. I just kind of get that feeling like, I just don't feel like you're really trying that hard. And, we'll just go we'll try again tomorrow because we have that room. That's why I like football, and it's one game. There's no tomorrow. Either you win or it's over. That's why I like it. I get that point. I'm going to change things up a little bit on us, Max, because we went a little long on that first segment. So I'm actually going to flip over to KU and K-State and talk a little bit about them as they rolled in their exhibition wins last night at home. And I don't blame people for not paying attention, not watching. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of it. I tuned in just for a little bit to see a little bit of things. Kansas rolls over Washburn, and they should be rolling. Once again, they're playing Division II teams, 84-53. And K-State, they win over Fort Hays State, 70-56. Kansas basketball looked just like I thought they should. They should look like the best team in the country because they are the best team in the country. They looked like it last night. I mean, now once again, they're playing Washburn, and they've got Flory Bundiga in there, this freshman superstar who can just block everything and is a freak of an athlete. David Coit on the outside, who I'd never heard of, burying threes left and right. He ended up with 19 points. Rylan Griffin, the transfer from Florida, and Zeke Mayo, the transfer from South Dakota State, had 16 and 14 respectively. They had a lot. They shot the three ball very well, 15-33, which was a problem last year for Kansas. So to have a good 3-point shooting game is good. But I remember last year, it was probably, a good 5 to 10 games in. And I think we all still thought, at least on this show, that Kansas was going to be a team making a run for the Final Four. They were playing very, very good. And then things just kind of slowly deteriorated as the season went on for Kansas basketball. So I don't want to sit here and say, put them in the Final Four. But in an exhibition game against a much inferior opponent, they looked the part. They looked very, very good last night.
Yeah, and I think, putting it lightly is saying that there was a 3-point problem last year with KU basketball. And the amount of improvement I've already seen, I know it is Washburn, like you said, but this is just a deeper team. The depth that Bill Self now has off of his bench, that was a problem last year. There was no bench production whatsoever from the KU Jayhawks last year, as well as no shooting, which led to struggles, especially down the line when Kevin McCullough got hurt. But yeah, I think that Buddinga, is that what was it? I was saying Buddinga, but I heard last night they were saying Buddinga.
I think it's Buddinga.
I think so.
Flory. We know it's Flory.
Flory.
You're going to know his name by the end of the season.
He is fantastic, and I've been excited ever since he committed to KU. I know I can't say his last name right, but I've still been excited because he won the Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year. He is just a fascinating prospect. Yeah, David Coit looked phenomenal. You kind of covered all the things that I was going to say about some of these role players. I will say there was some things that I'm still concerned about from this KU team watching yesterday, kind of, putting it into perspective of like, this is Washburn and these things are still happening. Turnovers, passing, still I'm seeing sloppy passing, forced passes, kind of some confusion, communication issues that I saw last year.
First game of the year, a new team.
I know. But this is something I saw all last year that I don't want to watch again this year happen. I want, just cleaner basketball overall. And then AJ Storr didn't look 100% comfortable. I don't think in his role. And he's someone I expect to be a number one, number two guy on offense. So I think that once he, kind of gets used to this team and he gets comfortable, it's gonna be really hard to stop, especially with Hunter Dickinson back in the lineup. So
AJ Storr is a dude. He is an absolute dude. Is AJ Storr? I will be fascinated to see how he mixes in with this group. There's a lot. There's just a lot on that floor, and this is the hardest part to me about college basketball anymore. Is that you've got a bunch of guys that are pretty much playing together for 1 year. Now Kansas is a little bit better because KJ Adams has been there for a while. DeJuan Harris has been there for a while. This is Hunter Dickinson's second year. Zach Clements has played a bit, but a lot of those other guys, Flory Bundiga, and AJ Storr and David Coit and Zeke Mayo, these are all Rylan Griffin. These are all guys that they brought in from the portal, which is great. They're great pieces, but they were all big pieces on their other teams. Zeke Mayo was the star for South Dakota State. AJ Storr was the star for Wisconsin. How are they going to fit together? This is the hard part about today's, especially college basketball, where it is a game of continuity. You need to be able to know who's cutting, who's not cutting, who's going to step out for the three, who's going to drive, who's going to dish. You got to figure that out, and it takes time. That's the hard part. So they have the talent. Can Bill Self mold it all together? That's going to be the biggest thing. And it is for every coach, not just named Bill Self that does it this way. How do you get these pieces that come together for maybe a year or two at most, put them all together? But that's very good.
I just think that's going to be the difference maker in this team is if AJ Storr can be comfortable in this role, because it is a different role than he had at Wisconsin, where he had to really carry the entire load. But he, I think he's going to be a big part of this team. And I'm excited to see him kind of mold into the player that Bill Self wants him to be.
I was curious, is David Coit a freshman? Gotta be, right? I had never heard of David Coit. Never heard of him.
I have it up right here.
Who was David Coit? He had to be a freshman.
He went to Northern Illinois. He was the Northern Illinois.
So he's another transfer. Okay.
Yeah, he's a senior.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's hard to know that stuff. K-State, by the way, they took on Fort Hays State, and they themselves have pretty much a brand new roster. David Gasson, C.J. Jones were the only guys in the starting five that were returning players from last year's team. And then if you want to go, Michaela Britch and David Castillo, but a lot of everybody else is brand new. It's a pretty much brand new roster for Jerome Tang. They got a great performance from, I think, it was the best player in the portal in Coleman Hawkins. 13 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. The guy can do it all. Coleman Hawkins is a dude. He's very, very good. He was very good last night. Brennan Housen, the transfer from Villanova, he had 15 points last night, buried 5 triples. Encore, which is a big, long, lanky guy with his first and last name that match. He's a big, long guy. He had 7 points last night. Only had 1 block. But yeah, this Doug McDaniel did not get the start. He was one of their prized possessions coming out of the portal from Michigan. He had 5 points last night and 1 of 8 shooting. But it's going to be a whole new team. But I think they showed that they are highly athletic and highly versatile is what Kansas State is going to be this year, at least in this game against Fort Hays State, which Fort Hays State, by the way, not taking anything away from Washburn. Fort Hays State is a very good program. They're a team that you will probably see in the top 15, top 10 in Division II basketball. They're very, very good. Mark Johnson does a great job with that program, and they play exceptional defense. They're maybe not the best offensive team, but their defense is top-notch. They're very, very good. So anyway, we'll see what the rest of the season begins coming up here. It's hard to say, but I can't believe it. But Monday, I think, is the season opener for KU, and Tuesday's the season opener for Kansas State. I cannot believe it.
KU plays Howard, which a couple years back, KU beat Howard. And I just remember that game because remember after Kamala Harris went into the locker room and was like congratulating Howard after they got blown out. Nothing like political about it. But if I was a Howard basketball player and the vice president came in and was like, "I'm so proud of you guys," like regardless if it was a 16-1, I would be so like, it's just so off footing. But that has nothing to do with anything.
No, it has something to do with something, and that's good. I like that. That's good. Oh, anyway, but yeah, KU takes on Howard, and K-State gets New Orleans on Tuesday for their season opener. Those are the season. We'll see how it all teams look. But like I said, I think in recapping it all, K-State's got pretty much a whole brand new roster, minus a couple of guys that look more athletic and definitely dangerous in that department. And KU has got a plethora, a whole boatload of talent that Bill Self's gonna have to find a way to make it work together. He's gonna have to find a way, because I think it will be a challenge.
God,
it will be a challenge. I know,
talent.
but there's only 5 spots that can play. And there's only so many shots that can go up each and every night.
Yeah, but when they're all making them, it's a lot easier than when none of them are making them last year. I'm telling you, the depth on this team is going to be a strong point. And last year, it was the weakest point. There was no production off the bench. And now you've got so many different guys you can roll out.
Well, they had guys that were just, the problem is injury bug kind of bit them a little bit last year. But yeah, you're right. They needed some more depth. And it bit them here early in the offseason too, because they lost a couple guys to injuries and lost them for the season.
Was one of them El Marco?
Yes. El Marco got hurt here in the spring.
That's right. Because I was thinking, I didn't see him.
No, El Marco Jackson's out for the year, which I think, once again, I could be wrong on this. I meant to fact check during the break because we got to get to break. But
yep,
I think they brought in David Coit because El Marco got hurt.
That could be. I actually think that's 100% true, because it was right after. And I
think they said, we don't have El Marco. We got to get somebody else. And here's David Coit. Well, that turned out to look okay in the first game.
Sure did.
That looked good.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, let's get to a break. 7:32 Mountain, 8:32 Central Time on a Wednesday, October the 30th. 40 degrees and windy outside, our way to a high of 50. We will take a break, come back. Connie Live joins us next to wrap up the girls' golf season as the Cowgirls finish third at state. That's next here on the Morning Blitz.
If you take electric or natural gas service from Midwest Energy, you're a co-op member. Midwest Energy is holding its annual meeting of members on Monday, October 21st, 10 a.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Hayes. Join us for a short meeting and maybe win one of several great door prizes. Again, that's the Midwest Energy annual meeting, Monday, October 21st, 10 a.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Hayes. Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Wednesday, October 30th. And on the overnights last night, December corn lower a quarter cent at 4.13.5. March up a quarter at 4.27.25. May unchanged. July up a quarter at 4.39.5. November soybeans up 5 cents on the overnights at 9.70.25. January up 4.5, 9.83.5. March up 4.25 at 9.97.75. May up 4.25 at 10.14. Chicago wheat, the December contract lowered 2 3/4 on the overnight at 5.67 3/4. March down 2.5, 5.88. May down 2 3/4 at 5.99. In July, soft wheat down 3.5 at 6.03 3/4. Kansas City wheat, the December contract lowered 3 3/4 at 5.70.5. March down 4.5 at 5.84. May down 4 1/4 at 5.94. July down 4.5 at 6.01 3/4. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down 77 at 42,370. The S&P down $3 at 5,867. The NASDAQ down 16 at 20,680. Gold higher $13 an ounce at 2,794. And crude oil up $1.16 a barrel at 68.37. If you have any questions on marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our call auto off the call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
For more than 85 years, Hogemeyer has been raising the bar on yield performance, and now we're pushing the boundaries of ordinary soybeans. With the best agronomic scores we've ever seen, and limited grade soybeans by Hogemeyer are topping the charts in resistance to white mold, iron chlorosis, brown stem rot, and sudden death syndrome. Plus, they offer a 2 bushel per acre advantage over our existing lineup, beating the competition 2 out of 3 times. Contact your local Hogemeyer rep today to learn more.
Now's the time to get right with Pivot Bio Nitrogen. The right source at the right rate at the right time in the right place. Sounds good, right? And now is the right time to act. With zero payments, zero interest, and zero worry. Until December 1st, 2025 on the best source of nitrogen. Get right with Pivot Bio. For more information, visit pivotsprovenit.com. That's pivotsprovenit.com.
Settle in and stay connected with NextTech Wireless and a device on us. Choose from the newest iPhone 16, the Samsung Galaxy S24, or a new tablet on us. Get an extra $100 with your device trade-in, no matter the condition. NextTech Wireless. Home on the range.
Even though your attention has turned back to school with events and activities, you just can't forget everything going on at home. That's where your local Hoover Lumber Ace hardware stores in Goodland and Colby come in. Keep the lawn in check with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. They are still your local Benjamin Moore paint retailer, and they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills and griddles from Traeger, Weber, and Blackstone. Plus, their helpful and knowledgeable staffs are some of the best in the Northwest. It's all at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
How about sports? You follow sports?
With Ross Volkmer.
Cruising along on the Morning Blitz, we will get to the College Football Power 5 coming up here in our next segment after we have to stop and have a quick chat with Goodland Girls golf coach Connie Liebengood, who joins us now on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline. Coach Goods, good morning. How are we doing today?
Great, thank you.
Coach, I got to start off. I mean, this season has been a really remarkable one. Where does this one rank in the history of kind of your seasons that you've had? And you've had quite a few of them at GHS.
Oh, I'd say this ranks about the third, fourth season that was really, really good. Probably the third. You know, winning 2 state championships been pretty phenomenal. But yeah, this one's right up there. I've had a couple second place teams and thirds before, but never undefeated like this.
Isn't it? But to me, the undefeated thing is the cool part. To not lose a tournament, I mean, that's a hard thing to do.
Yes, it is. You know, you got to have that fourth person to help you out and stuff. And I don't think this season, you know, we played the same teams basically over and over during the year. And so I don't think a lot of people took us serious when we went to state because we play those teams. And, you know, after the first round this year, I know that people knew that we were the real deal.
What was the conditions like on those 2 days, and how did the girls handle those first 2 days of the state tournament?
Oh my gosh, that's the nicest state tournament I've ever been to in my 20 plus years. It was just phenomenal. It was almost too hot the first day because it was just darn hot. In the middle of October, that's unusual.
We're visiting with head coach of the Goodland Cowgirl golf team, Connie Liebengood, after her team ends up taking third at state this previous year at the 3218 State Girls Golf Tournament down in Emporia. Boy, it was to get the consistency that you got out of the Cure Girls, of course, and Tori Jones. I mean, they were just consistently very, very good. And you have to have that if you're going to have the season like you did have.
Oh, absolutely. When you have your top 3 in the top 8 at regionals and league and even at state, you know, top 3 out of the top 12. Tori took 12. That's just a great deal for our teams. So that was just a plus for those 3 kids. They've been playing a lot of golf, and that shows in their scores.
What was the biggest thing, Coach, that you were...
How good does it make you feel that those girls went out every single year, not every single year, I won't say the right, went out pretty much every day throughout the summer to play, and all that progression showed? As a coach, you just kind of be like, see, I told you so.
Yeah. Well, it's just fun to see them play, and you're right. It shows those top 3 scores. And then Sadie also played a little bit this year, and my seniors, I wish they would play just a little bit more because I think they would have improved so much more because, you know, your distance is more the greens more. It's just more confidence out there playing. But when those kids were playing all the time, I know they were out there almost every day, at least 2 to 3 hours sometimes. So, and I finally told them, it's okay to take a day off once in a while, rest. So it's kind of fun to watch them play.
Coach, what was the main thing going into state that you were coaching your girls?
They had to know their distances this time. They had 2 holes that were, they just reached out and grabbed a lot of people, and 9 and 11 on Emporia's course. And I knew that going in, been there 3 different times before. And they had to know their distances. They had to place that ball where they needed it. And, I think some of them got nervous on that, but the ones that didn't got through those holes and did a really good job with that. But knowing their distances, about 160 yards, placing the ball where you needed to be in the middle and stuff, that was really important at this state tournament.
How would you grade the overall competition at the state tournament this year? You had a couple teams that ended up tying for the first place spot when it was all said and done.
Oh yeah, we knew that going in. I mean, their team averages were low this year all the way through. I think the pressure kind of got to them just a little bit. St. Mary Coolgazers, they've won it 3 or 4 times. Last year, Silver Lake won it. And so they were repeated this year after they tied. But we knew going in that they were the ones to beat. And, we played good the first day, and they didn't play as well, whether it was pressure or not. And, we were only 6-7 strokes down. So, but they came back and played a little better. And that makes a big difference.
I tell you, it was good to see both not only Goodland, but Colby made the final cut as well. It really shows how good the golf is out here in Northwest Kansas, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And then Amelia Bowles from Atwood wins it. And so, and Syracuse, they were right there too. And so it's a lot of fun for us all to be supporting each other, and we do support each other. And that's what's fun about the golf. And all us coaches get along really well. And that's been a lot of fun.
How cool was it to see Amelia sink a big putt on the final hole to win her and knock off, what was a 3-time defending state champ, I think is what it was?
Yeah. Yeah. You hate somebody to lose like that after they've worked hard too. But when Amelia sunk that putt, we were all actually watching Allie Keir, and then somebody goes, "Oh my gosh, she just made this." And because we could see across the green, but we were finishing with Allie. But she just sunk it, and it's just awesome because I gave her a big hug after the tournament, and she goes, "It was all because of my putt." So that's kind of fun.
Absolutely. Once again, we're visiting with Connie Livengood here on the Morning Blitz, Goodland girls head golf coach. To have those girls, Allie and Natalie and Tori, a majority of your key pieces coming back for another year, that's even got to be even more exciting than what was a 3rd place finish, it feels like, this season.
Oh yeah, they're sitting there holding their state trophy, and they're already saying this is going to be a state trophy. It's going to be the big one next year. And with that kind of attitude, that's just awesome that they have that kind of attitude. But that's always kind of been a tradition. Once you get that ingrained into them about going to state and sticking with it, that's just a really good thought that they want to go back and win the darn thing.
Absolutely. What do you tell the girls when the season is over and the winter months are coming up and they really can't work on their golf game a whole lot? What do you tell them to still stay in the mindset?
Well, I think that's already implanted, and it's okay to go on to your next sport and things. But when spring rolls around, I'm hoping that they'll start thinking about, hey, I need to go here. I need to do this, and I know a couple of them been over on a simulator. But just to keep the mindset that, hey, we need to get back out there this summer and really work hard. Matter of fact, I encourage them to take their minds off of it for a while, because I think that will make them a better athlete.
No doubt about it. Once again, Connie Livengood, a Goodland girls head golf coach, the Cowgirls finishing in 3rd place here this season at the Acacia 321A state tournament down in Emporia. Coach Goods, thank you so much for the time. Congrats on another great season. Just another feather in the old cap for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, but you don't get anywhere without good kids, parents helping them and stuff. You just don't get there by yourself. So tribute to everyone who did support us and put in work with them as well.
Thank you, Coach, for the time. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Once again, great stuff there from Connie Lavengood. Been doing it a long time, had a lot of success with Goodland Cowgirl Golf, and again there with some really good stuff as the Cowgirls finishing in third. And like I said, the sky is the limit for next year because with their top 3 golfers being underclassmen and coming back for their senior or junior campaigns, it means expectations will be high for next year. But a great year for Goodland Cowgirl Golf. Another picture to be hung in the Max Jones Field House. So there you go. All right, let's get to a break. When we come back, we will get into the college football Power 5, and we will look at what are the top games in Week 10 of the college football slate. That's coming up next here on the Morning Blitz.
Visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
The one hail of a sale continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get huge savings on not just lightly hailed on vehicles, but also ones that don't have hail or have had the hail fixed. For example, a 24 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali with no hail up to $7,000 off when you're a loyal Buick or GMC owner, now just over $68K. A 24 Chevy Tahoe RST with hail up to $14,000 off, now just $58K. It's one hail of a sale, and it continues at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas, online at hurlchev.com.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Bringing you the best regional sports talk.
Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
From scores to stories, the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Another reason I wanted to bring Coach Goods on, but I forgot, getting caught up in the conversation, was their fall cleanup that they have coming up here. That's Wednesday, November the 13th. Goodland Junior Senior High does a fall cleanup for the elderly citizens of Goodland. So if you're listening and you're an elderly citizen or know someone who is and need like your yard cleaned up with the leaves and that kind of thing, they will do this. It's part of kind of their community service that they like to do. So you'll need to call the high school at 890-5656, kind of get on the list. Students will rake your lawn, help you with your fall cleanup, and then helping with the city of Goodland and transfer station. By the way, they cannot pick up like tree branches or any other big items, but they can help rake the leaves and make it a little bit easier on you. So got a leaf problem at your place there, Max?
No, but I live at the Colby Housing Authority. So they do it all for me. It's actually great.
Yeah, you don't have any snow to scoop or anything like that. It's all easy peasy for you, isn't it?
It's just perfect. It is perfect.
All right, let's move on here on a Wednesday. We got about 12 minutes left to go in our show, and it is a Wednesday, so that means we've got the college football Power 5 to get to. Let's dive into it right now. Overall, I don't know if this is a great weekend of college football. From top to bottom, it's really not that great, but which is going to make it even more interesting to see who has got 5+ games to talk about here. So let's just get things rolling here, Max, with the course.
All right.
Number 5.
Number 5, well, first honorable mention, Ron.
Honorable mention game.
I got an honorable mention this week, and it's in the Big 12 because I love watching offenses that just with no defense. I love a game with all offense and no defense, and that's what you're going to get out of Arizona and UCF. I know I've picked Arizona a bunch this year. I think they're fun to watch when they play good. Arizona, Fafita, T-Mac, you know the story. And then RJ Harvey's a very good running back for UCF that I've loved watching this season. So that's my honorable mention. And then number 5, I've got Arizona State, who's been playing some very good football this year, versus Oklahoma State, who's been playing some very disappointing football this year. Arizona State is favored by 3, so that's my number 5 game. It'll be an interesting one.
So my honorable mention game is going to be Vanderbilt at Auburn. And some of the reasons I picked these games this week is because of this point spread.
Yeah.
Vandy is a 7-point dog at a 2-win Auburn team, and Vandy has beaten Alabama and has pushed Texas, albeit at home, I get you, and this is on the road at Auburn. But a 7-point dog? What?
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
That sounds like easy money. Sounds like easy money to me. Vandy at Auburn, because once again, the point spread seems messed up. So Vandy at Auburn, what does Vegas know that I do not know? Auburn has looked bad. Hugh Freeze's seat is already getting warm in his second season. Vandy at Auburn is my honorable mention game. My number 5 game, I'm going to the Big Ten. Gonna hang in my roots here with Minnesota at Illinois. First of all, Illinois is 24th ranked. They're coming off a very tough loss at Oregon against a very good Oregon team, a team that's going to be in the cultural playoff. Illinois is kind of fighting for their college football playoff live. That kind of went away with that loss last weekend. They take on Minnesota and PJ Fleck, who PJ Fleck doesn't have a lot of NIL backup, but he finds ways to get his players to play hard, and they're good. And because of it, Vegas thinks that Minnesota on the road at Illinois is a 1.5-point favorite. Once again, what?
Yeah.
What? That doesn't make any sense to me. Illinois looked great all season. Why is Minnesota favored? What does Vegas know that I do not know? Illinois hosting Minnesota. I think that Luke Altmaier has been a great quarterback for Illinois this entire season. He's been very good. I know they struggled against Oregon, but a lot of teams have struggled with Oregon. That's why they're unbeaten. That's why they're the number 1 team in the country. It's okay. I still think Illinois probably gets it done. Minnesota is not as impressive as I think people think they are. But why in the world is Minnesota 1.5 point favorite on the road at Illinois at a top 25 team? Does not add up to me. What does Vegas know that I do not? That's number 5 on my college football Power 5.
Well, Vegas always seems to know something that everyone else doesn't. So
apparently they know something I don't. Moving on to number
4.
Number 4. Florida versus Georgia, always a good rivalry. This one's in Georgia. I always wish it was in the Swamp. I just think the Swamp is such a cool atmosphere. But, you got Lagway versus Carson Beck. Georgia's 16.5-point favorites. I'd love to see Florida make this a close one, but really simply just off the rivalry. I know Florida's 4-3. Georgia's playing some better football. But, yeah, that's my number 4, just simply because I love seeing those colors match up, Ross.
Isn't it called the largest cocktail party? I think that's what it's called, right?
It might be.
I think it's what it's called. Anyway, have you been to the Swamp for a game?
No, I didn't. I wish I did though. When I was in Florida, I was right by UCF, so I went to a couple UCF games, and
he was at the Bounce House.
Yeah, the Bounce House it's probably better when they're a better football team, because when I was there, they weren't that good. I went to a Jordan. The atmosphere was but shout out UCF. I'll still support them because I think they're a fun team, and being around that area during some of their football games.
Florida Georgia seems like it'd be a big game, but Florida is just not very good, and so it kind of takes the poor point out of it. So for me, at least this year, my number 4, I'm going to the ACC. Duke at Miami.
Yeah.
By the way, Miami's 8-0, and they have the number 1 offense in the country. Over 560 yards of offense per game. That's better than by 30 yards to second place team. That's nuts. They're putting up so much offense. But Duke has got a defensive-minded head coach in Manny Diaz. Once again, this game is pretty much a mismatch because Duke doesn't have the same talent that Miami does. But Duke has still found a way to be 6-2 this season and a first-year head coach. It's pretty darn good if you ask me. This is another game where I'm like, why is the spread this way? Miami is a 3-touchdown favorite. You're telling me a 6-2 Duke team doesn't have a chance of staying within 3 scores, especially with a defensive-minded head coach?
Mm.
Seems a little iffy to me. I mean, I could see losing by 18 or a couple touchdowns, but 3 scores is a big margin to cover. I don't know. Once again, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
But I tell you what, can we get Cam Ward in some realistic Heisman talk? Because he is absolutely unbelievable at the quarterback spot, and it's really kind of talked about as a 2-man race. But I think he's playing some unbelievable football, and Miami's still undefeated. And boy, I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. And I kind of imagine him in the Dolphins jersey, Ross. Can you imagine that? Just throwing that out there.
It'd be fine.
Throwing it out there.
Cam Ward, by the way, over 2,700 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, 5 picks. for Cam Ward. Very, very good numbers at this point in time for Cam, who's on his third stop in his collegiate career. Incarnate Word, where he was kind of left over, Incarnate Ward to Washington State to Miami. Talk about different parts of the world.
Yeah, true.
He was all over the place. Anyway, there you go. That's my number 4. Okay, moving on. The Cultural Power 5 Week 10 2.
Number 3.
Number 3, I've got the number 19 Ole Miss football squad versus Arkansas. Ole Miss, I love Jackson Dart. I don't know about you, Ross, but he's one of my favorite quarterbacks for really no reason. I just love I think he's got some swag. He's got the vibe. He's good at football as well, and I like watching him throw it. Arkansas is 7-point dogs in this game. They've played some good football this year at times. Ole Miss has struggled as well at times, losing to Kentucky as well as LSU, but that was a close game in LSU. If that one's in Ole Miss, that might be going the other way. And Ole Miss is also coming off of a 26-14 win versus Oklahoma. So, I think this one's going to be a good game. I love watching Ole Miss play football, and this is going to be a good matchup.
This game is semi-intriguing just because they're in Fayetteville. I think if it was in Oxford, I don't think it would be as good a game as you said. So, yeah.
Definitely.
I can see that game being it's not. I like it. No, we're not even on the same page. It's been a great Power 5 so far.
I tried to switch it up this week.
You are switching it up quite a bit.
It's not as black and white,
right,
slate like it was the other 3 weeks.
Right. My number 3 game is going to be in the Big Ten, Wisconsin at Iowa. If you love no points and you love defense, this is your kind of game.
I do not. I won't be
Most
watching.
people don't like these type of games, and I get it. Wisconsin has played very good here. I know they lost to Penn State last weekend, 28-13 at home, but they took care of business against the 3 teams they should have in Northwestern, Rutgers, Purdue. This is actually a game where I'm like, how good are you? Because Wisconsin rolled through those 3 teams, has not looked good against USC or really Penn State. Iowa, on the other hand, has rolled Minnesota and rolled Washington. They hung with Ohio State for a half, and they rolled Northwestern. They got spanked by Michigan State. I don't know what to think. I don't even know if Iowa knows what to think because they have so many quarterback issues. They can't figure it out. Right now, Iowa's a 3-point favorite at home. To me, the over-under is 40. Under. Hammer the under, baby. Minimal points. Lots of defense. Big Ten football. There you go. Wisconsin, Iowa, both teams 5-3. This would have been a great Big Ten West game, but because there's no divisions anymore, it doesn't matter. But Wisconsin, Iowa, I don't know. To me, it's interesting. That's why it's number 3.
I'm with it. That's straight Big Ten football right there.
That is. All right, on to the top 2.
Number 2.
Number 2, but I'm going with the number 1 team in the country, Ross. Number 1, Oregon is in Ann Arbor against Michigan, and simply because I know Michigan hasn't been playing good football this year, and I know they're not the team even remotely close.
One of their 3 quarterbacks retired this week. Tuttle said, I'm done.
Why not? But let me tell you what, it's in Michigan, and this is kind of like their last straw to try to salvage something from this year. So I'm excited to watch it. Just, I think if it's in Oregon, probably doesn't crack the top 5 in my list, but it's in Michigan. And, that place when it's packed and loud is a great place to be. So yeah, that's my number 2 game.
That game didn't even make my top 5. I just think Oregon is going to roll Michigan. I don't even think it'll be a close game. I don't even think it'll be close. I get what you're saying, and I get it. But I'm just like, I think Oregon will roll Michigan. They are just not in the same headspace or same team that they were a season ago. My number 2, let's go to the ACC. It's a top 20 matchup, people, between SMU and Pitt.
Yeah.
There you go. This is an interesting game, folks. You've got guys that you've never heard of and teams that you probably could care less about, but it's a top 20 game. SMU 7-1. Pitt 7-0. Guess what? It's another elimination game in the college football playoff because these teams have a chance at being in because they have the records they have. You lose a game, you're probably looking on sitting out. Right now, you've got SMU at home, a 7.5-point favorite. Rhett Lashley's been a great coach for SMU. He's probably going to get a bigger job in the next year or so. Pittsburgh's had a great coach for a long time there. Defensive coordinator Narduzzi. There we go. He's been a great coach for them for a long time. I know this game to me is intriguing. Pittsburgh, SMU, my number 2 on the college football Power 5. And on to, what do you got?
Well, we'll see what Pitt does without, oh my God, what's his name? The quarterback for Syracuse.
Holstein?
No, for Syracuse. It's escaping my mind.
Ohio State. Okay. Kyle McCord.
Yeah, Kyle McCord. We'll see what they can do without Kyle McCord giving him the ball 6 times.
6 times,
yeah. My number 1 game.
Number 1.
Ross, are we on the same page here?
Probably, yes.
Yeah, Penn State versus Ohio State.
Yes. Penn State, Ohio State.
And
is
you know
number
what?
one.
I'm not even like thrilled at this because I think I think Penn State's going to win. I really do. Because
Nebraska took Ohio State to the wire. That's why you're thinking
that's
that.
a fact. That's part of it. That's definitely a very important factor. But I think Drew Aller's a very good quarterback. I really do. And I think that he's playing good football of late. I think Penn State just with a dominant win over Wisconsin, Ohio State with a not so dominant win over Nebraska. I think Penn State. It is in Ohio. It is at Ohio State. God, I think if this was at Penn State,
no. This is at Penn State. This is at Beaver Stadium.
Oh yeah, get out of here, Ohio State.
So first of all, it should be, even though it's in the day. So I don't know if it's a whiteout game or not. I would think it would be because it's a noon kickoff.
Yeah.
First of all, Drew Aller is an okay quarterback. I don't think they've unlocked him yet. I think there's so much potential for Drew, but they haven't figured out how to make him throw the ball down the field yet.
Yeah.
And so they need to unlock him more. And I don't know how. He's kind of stuck. They've kind of gone to their backup because he got hurt in the Wisconsin game that runs the option. That's what makes this intriguing because all of a sudden, if you're Ohio State, you have to prepare for Aller and the option game. That's a lot of time you're spending your defense doing that advantage to Penn State. The other reason I like this game is from the Ohio State perspective. Will Howard, a Pennsylvania guy who wanted to go to Penn State, was overlooked, was never offered. He'll want to show out in his home state. Fascinating. Great players all over, and no doubt the best game by far of the weekend. Ohio State currently a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Beaver Stadium, which is always a tough place to play, like Max said. That'll be very, very good. So there you go. Week 10, the College Football Power 5. Max, read them off. What do you got again?
Oh, I got Arizona versus UCF as my honorable mention. Arizona State versus Oklahoma State. Florida versus Georgia. Ole Miss versus Arkansas. Oregon versus Michigan. Penn State versus Ohio State.
I've got Vanderbilt at Auburn in the honorable mention because Vandy's a 7-point dog. Why? Minnesota at Illinois. Minnie's a favorite. Why? That's number 5. Number 4, Duke is at Miami. Duke's a 3-touchdown dog. Why? Number 4. Number 3, Wisconsin at Iowa. Old Big Ten football. 2, interesting elimination playoff game, possibly SMU at Pitt. And you've got number 1, Ohio State at Penn State in this week's edition of the College Football Power 5 Week 10. Always love it. One of my favorite times of the week. All right, we've got to get to the walk-off here.
A 3-run walk-off home run. A game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion. That baby's go.
Did you happen to see these stories coming out of the NFL? You know, apparently Aaron Rodgers has found the fountain of youth, drinking some drink with cayenne pepper in it. Good Lord.
This guy, I'm done with him. I tell you, Ross, I am done with Aaron Rodgers. And I've been saying this, you know what? I said this last year before he got hurt. I don't think he's finishing this year. I didn't think he was going to finish last year if he didn't get hurt. I think the Jets, when give him three more losses on the schedule, he's done. He's retiring. He's not as good as he used to be. The team has no chance to make the playoffs. He has full control of his front office for no reason. I mean, the Jets, he has some weird thing about him where it's like mind control with the Packers and the Jets. He just it doesn't matter how bad they're playing. He's just like, give me everything. Let's go all in.
He's the sexy girl at the bar that every guy wants. He's the sexy girl at the bar.
I'm done. We're done with him. Get him out.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
Yep.
Get him out of the league.
You have the rings and you have that kind of, when you've shown that kind of stuff on film.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
one
people
Super
want.
Bowl he had.
Yeah, just saying.
He should have way more. He should have
just like
way
the
more.
hot girl at the bar. Anthony Richardson, by the way, benched. It could be his time. Could be over. They're going to Joe Flacco there in Indianapolis. We'll see how that all ends up panning out for them.
Yeah, and this is the thing about the NFL right now. It's in this weird spot with all these young quarterbacks that are just being benched. Do you want them to develop? Do you want them to not develop? Do you want them to sit? Do you want them to start? We got to figure something out, Panthers and Colts. We can't be.
But you have to admit, it was kind of dumb when he said, I want out. He tapped out for the one play.
Terrible.
That was kind of stupid.
Terrible.
Don't forget, Colby Community College volleyball tonight, trying to win 10 in a row. They are on the road at Garden City. For Max, I'm Ross. We'll see you tomorrow. It's been the Blitz.
Rocket 102.